Okay, yeah. So today we can see about the cache. Okay, cache and query history in Snowflake. No, generally, like let me move to this direct query. Okay, this is the query account. Let me log in that. So the basically Hori history, right? The Hori history is nothing between. You can see when you're running the query in the Snowflake portal, right? But you can see the data 14 days of the query history. It is available in your Snowflake. You can visit that more than 24 days query. Only you are not able to see that, but the last 14 days queries you can see the what queries they are running and what is the query result at all. You can view that. Okay, there are also we will cover about that cache. What about the cache? It is the main role for the optimization. That at all we can discuss it. Okay, we can do that later. Okay, so first let me. Okay. Okay, can we copy this query? We can run that here. So you can switch from sysadmin to the account admin role. Generally, the Snowflake portal, right? Like this area is the navigational panel. Okay, these are the bottom of there are the two panel. One panel for that you can write the query. Then below panel, it is the data preview and result. You can see the data here. Okay, so right now, alter warehouse and you are suspending that current data warehouse, but currently the data warehouse is not up. Okay, any data warehouse is not up. So just if you are running this one, you are getting some error. I think. Let's see. Yeah, because warehouse computer cannot be suspended because already it's not up status. That's why. So you can up it. You can resume that. Then it is on, right? Then you can suspend that. Okay. So again, you are okay. Right now it is suspending your warehouse. So this is the query. You can suspend that warehouse, new warehouse. Okay, alter and warehouse, and your warehouse name and suspend that. So this is a query which is used to suspend that warehouse if it is running already. Okay, so can we run this query? Okay, select count of star from. So this is the database, Snowflake sample database. You can go to the Snowflake database. This is Snowflake sample database. Under the Snowflake sample database, there are also TPCDS, this schema. You can select this schema. So under this schema, you are selecting the call center table. There are the call center table. Okay. So basically, when you are running this query, what happened here? Okay, you are counting that. You are getting the result 60. So there are the 60 rows presented in the table. So what is the mimic of this query? So basically, when we are getting this query, right, it is directly communicating with your cloud services. The cloud services, there are also maintaining your metadata information, right? So it is directly getting the details from there. So this query, the count of star query, is not going to talk with vWarehouse and now it's not getting the data from our original remote storage. It's directly communicating with our metadata. It is directly get the count. So in this case only, you will get the result as soon as possible. Okay, only the 56 milliseconds will be taking. There is a compilation time, no, only for 48 milliseconds, and execution only for the 8 milliseconds. So this count of star query, which is directly communicating with your cloud warehouse, cloud services. Inside the cloud services, there is also metadata statistics, metadata cache. From that cache also, it is directly fetch the count. Okay. So for example, when you are running this query, when you're running the select star from. So in this case, right now, your vWare host is not that, it's not up, it's not spin up. Okay. So when I run this query, it is automatically spin up. It is automatically spin up within seconds something. Then it is going to communicate with our remote storage and getting the data from our original remote storage system. Okay. I run that query. You can see that difference. So you can get it's automatically coming, right? Automatically spin up. So this is the one of the beautiful advantages in the Snowflake. Okay. So right now, when we are communicating, when you are fetching the data from remote storage, what happened here? The cost will be little bit high. Okay. So when you are running the first time, the query that the data will be getting it from that your remote storage. Remote storage means vWare host. Then vWare host is talking with your storage, remote storage, and get the data. So suppose when you are running the query same, when you are running the same query again, what happen? This query result will be maintained in the result cache area. It is getting the data directly from there. It is not going to communicate with your remote storage. So right now, when we are running the query, 756 milliseconds. Okay, when I run the same query, what happened? You can look it. Only for 74 milliseconds only. Okay, only 74 milliseconds, but previous query 76 milliseconds. What happened here? When we are running the first time, it is getting it from that vWare host. And it is getting from that remote storage area. But when we are running the query, this result will be going to when you are running that result, this result is moving into the result cache. Then when you run the query at the second time, it is getting the data. The query result will be getting from the result cache directly. So in this case, only 74 milliseconds, the query is successfully rendered. Don't confuse that. I will show the some diagram later, and you can see that, and you will get it. So what I'm saying that one, okay. This is that generally for that detailed section. Okay, for examples, if you want to the SQL statement here, you can copy from here. There is a copy SQL functionality here. And also if you want to the query ID, you need to copy the query ID. So what about the query history? Okay, what about the query history mean? I will let you know the query history. Okay, then okay, I am going to run the next query. Now what happened here? What happened here? Select star from. I am running the same query. Already ran it. Only it is taking the 74 milliseconds. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. The data which is moving from this remote storage into result cache. The result cache, the data which is available one day, 24 hours, which is available.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. One thing. I need to clear. Like whenever we need to run the queries, we need to state that schema name and then table name. Is it necessary whenever we?
Yeah. I understood what you're asking. Suppose if you are pointing out this. Suppose if you are pointing out this here, this data warehouse and the particular schema. This is this is a vWare host. This is the database. This is that your schema, right? If you are pointing it out directly, you can run that because this is a Snowflake schema. I am finding the different schema. Sorry, I am finding out the different schema. Correct? This is Snowflake database. This is Snowflake sample database. So what I'm telling you now, if you are selecting this here, you are selecting here, what happened?
Yeah, I got that.
I'm running this here. I'm the Snowflake sample data. Then, okay, I'm selecting this 100 TCL, right? So in this case, what happened? I don't want to specify anything here.
Okay, we can specify like a sample call center.
Yeah, call center. If you are not finding it out, it is better. The best benefit you need to give it full details.
Yeah, sure.
That is the best.
Sure.
Yeah, got that. Okay. So basically, what happened here? This is just you are passing the where condition. Okay, this where condition. What happened here? You are running this query, same Snowflake sample data, and the same schema and the call center is a table, right? So the best practice, you need to give it full things. Then that is the best practice. Okay. Suppose in this case, you don't want to point it out anything. If you are giving the full details, mean you can run it any schema. Suppose if you are pointing with a different schema here, but you can point this full detail. You can when you give the full detail, it is running against that particular database and particular schema and particular table. So you don't want to consider this one, right? That's the best practice. Okay,
sure, sir.
Yeah, I run this query. What happened here? So this is time, right? You are just the same query you are running, just you are passing the filter condition, correct? Call sender sk equal to less than equal to 5. So this query is already running, right? This query is already running, but this is already moved into result cache. So the before that result cache, the data which is getting from the remote storage and move into the warehouse cache. There is one more cache is there. That is a warehouse. That is a local cache. That local cache. Then after that only the local cache, from the local cache into your result cache. Your query result will be coming in the result cache. I am showing you how is it. Okay. So this is a query history, right? So I ran the query, 4 different query. The first time when we ran that, right? So what happened here? The first time 74 milliseconds is taken. You can click that here. So this is a query details is there, everything. This is the result is there. Okay, the result and this is a query. You can see the profile. Okay, this what happened here? What happened here?
So query result reuse.
Yeah, there is getting directly, you will be getting from the result cache, right? This query will be getting from the result cache. So you can go to the some other query ID before that. Okay, you can take it. This is that no, this one, no? Yeah. So what happened here? So what happened here? The profile, right? It is getting.
Yeah, it has been.
Yeah, it is getting from that local storage, no? The table scan, it is getting from that table scan, then it will be moving into the result, right?
Yeah.
So local Snowflake sample data, this is local. Okay, I will show the diagram. You will get it clear. Okay, what I'm telling you, you will get it clear.
Sure, sir.
Yeah, these are the details. You can see that. For example, when you click this here, so what happened here? So this is getting from the remote storage. You are applying the filter, right?
Yes.
So what happened here? You are getting this data will be getting from that remote storage, this storage, local storage.
Yeah.
Okay. So but this is a beauty advantage because when you run the query first time, right? This query when you run the first time, it is getting from that remote storage. The cost is something, okay? But when we are running the query, same syntax, the same column name, same table data result. So in this case, it is getting directly from result cache. So in this case, your vWarehouse is not having the computing cost, right? Snowflake won't do again the computing. The first time, whatever the query you are running, the same query we are getting it from that result cache. In this case also, Snowflake is not will not compute the query again, and it is not getting the data from remote storage. So in this case also, your cost will be going to reduce, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The one thing is for that, but when you're using this dynamic generation column, current session or something, current timestamp like that. So that at all, when you are using this query, each and every time will be going it from that either vWarehouse cache or remote storage cache, because this is the dynamic value, right? When we are running the query, this is dynamic value every time. So in this query, your syntax will be different, right?
Yeah.
Because the value is different. So in this case, it is not directly referred from that your result cache. So what I'm telling you, so you can, I run the query. Okay, I run the query. I see the query detail here. It is getting directly from the metadata.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
The metadata result. Okay, you can see that. Again, you are running it again. You will be getting it from the metadata directly. You can see the query ID again. metadata, right? So what happened here? What happened here? You are passing this query, comma, metadata here. You are adding this dynamic column. So what happened here? You can see that. Your query syntax is different, right? So what happened here?
Yes.
The 135.
Then it will go for a table scan and then it will go.
Yeah, correct. The table scan and result.
Yeah. Okay.
So
okay,
again I am running that. So this is case Snowflake has some computing cost, right?
Yes, sir.
So what happened? Again it is table scan.
Again it went table scan and then result.
Yeah. Okay. The one.
May I know which are all the dynamic?
This is the dynamic column, dynamic value, right? But I am taking this one. What happened here? You can run that. So there is some background noise. What happened?
I think like I'm in an empty room. This might be a problem. I'm unmuting. I'm muting myself.
Yeah, it's better. Okay, this is the query I ran that, right? So the first time when we run the query, already I ran the query, right? It is the 24 hours. It is available in the result cache. Okay, I am checking that again. What happened? It is getting it from the result cache directly. So that is the one of the best advantage. In this case also, when you are running the same query, your syntax and column name and result, if it is everything same, when one time you run the query, at the next time also it is getting it from the direct result cache. So, but you don't want to pass any dynamic column. If you are passing the dynamic column, it is getting the data from remote storage or any this one local storage. Local storage means vWarehouse cache. Okay, I will show the picture later. Okay, so the vWarehouse cache, it is the lifetime which is applicable only the spin up. Okay, once it is automatically after 10 minutes it is down, right? Then your local cache will be destroyed. But the result cache is available one day, 24 hours is available. But your query history, right? You can see the last 14 days query history here. So how what are the queries you are running for last 14 days? You can see that here. You can, it is maintaining here. Okay. Okay. So let's see that cache, right? The cache plays the vital role in saving cost and speeding up result. Because no, when we run the one query at the first time, it is getting it from the remote storage. Then I run the same query again, it is directly getting it from the cache, result cache. So in this case, Snowflake does not spend the computing, right? It does not use the computing. So that's why this is a beauty for the Snowflake. So there are the three type of cache. Okay. One for the metadata cache and result cache and warehouse cache. So the metadata cache means it's nothing between select count of star, just to select some dynamic column. It is directly getting from here. It is holding that object information and updated statistics. But the result cache is nothing between once when you run the query first time, it is getting the data from remote storage, then it is moved into local storage, then after that from the local storage into a result cache. So the lifetime which is up to 24 hours. But vWarehouse cache mean what happened? Only the warehouse is running, right? The holds the data in local. This local cache, the warehouse is still running. Or warehouse, no, this one. The 10 minutes as per our setup is a 10 minutes, right? After the 10 minutes only, if you are not using, if you are still not using, mean it is a spin, it is a down, right? Otherwise it is a spin up, right? So in this case only the warehouse cache still it is destroying, right?
Okay. Yeah, Sarwan, we have seen only those two, right? Which is the data storing in results cache and metadata cache. When the results will be stored in warehouse cache?
I am telling you, I am showing this picture. Are you able to see that?
Yeah, I'm able to see. Yeah, I can able to see.
Yeah, okay. This picture, right? You are select the count of star from this table. Okay, this table, what happened here? This is a count of star. It is communicating with your cloud services. Okay, cloud services, there is maintaining the metadata cache. Directly, it is getting the statistics information. any count of star, current timestamp. So specifically you are using, it is not going to computing with your vWarehouse. It is directly get the data from here. Okay. Then what happened? Did you get this point? Caching, this caching, you got it? Metadata caching.
Yeah. Metadata cache, I got that.
Okay. So this is the cache for that your second thing. When you are running the first time this query, what happened here? This is the Snowflake will computing your query. It is getting the data from your long-term centralized storage, the bottom layer. I showed you the bottom layer, right? The data vWarehouse is communicating the bottom layer. That is a remote storage which is getting it from there. Then that one copy will be, the data will be moving into the data. I think data warehouse cache, the warehouse SSD cache local. So this is what is the lifetime for this? This is the your warehouse, right? This one.
Yeah.
Only it is up, right? Only per time is up until or unless until only this warehouse is still in lifetime. Okay, I'm showing, I'm telling you. Then what happened once the data which is moving here, the query result which is moving into the result cache. Okay. So when you get the query again, the same query or again, it is not directly communicating from that here. It is directly communicating from your result cache, the data which is getting from there. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Okay. This is the same picture for you. Okay. There is some limitation. You can see that, no? Okay. So what our data warehouse cache, nothing between, right? What happened here? You are selecting some column. CC some. In this query, you are running the same query, the syntax and everything, the rules, everything will be same. In this case, it is getting directly from the result cache. But what about this query? This query, you are selecting only one column from the table. So in this case, what happened here? Your result cache, it is accurate result. All the columns and everything is there. But in the warehouse cache, in this case only, your data which is there in the warehouse local cache, right? But your previous query result is different and this query is different. Okay, so in this case, your rules is not satisfied. So in this case, it is going to communicate with your warehouse cache. The data is getting from there. Got it?
Yeah, got that point, sir.
Suppose your cluster is not spin up. Your cluster is not spin up mean what happened here? If you are changing the query, it is directly communicating from this remote storage. Then it will be again the same process. What I showed you, know, these things. So you can see that. Yeah, you can see that. So I ran the query data from here, the same query, right? When I run the same query again, what happened? It is getting from the result cache, right?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, I am telling you. I'm run the query for you. The same column, no? CC call center SK. Okay. So I ran the query. So my cluster is spin up. Okay. So what happened here? You are saying the going to that's one. You can run button, otherwise you can the control ender also is running. Okay, both are same.
Yeah.
So shortcut is a control render. What happened here? Which is getting from your local storage. Okay,
yes,
local storage and is coming to the result. Then again I am going to run the same query. What happened? So the first time it is taking 100 milliseconds. I am run the same query again. So 38 milliseconds. I am checking here. What happened?
A query result reuse.
Yeah, this is a result cache, right?
Yes.
Because I ran the same query. So this is the one of the advantages in Snowflake. Got it now?
Yeah, but it need to come from like data warehouse, right?
No, data warehouse the first time it came, right? Already I ran the 2 times, right? So this is the first time I ran this. I am showing the query.
Yeah, that came from the centralized storage. It went to the
no. It is not getting from the it is not getting from the centralized storage. It is getting from the local storage because my warehouse is still spin up, right?
Yes, yes.
So
Spin, yeah.
already the data I'm fetching the already this data is fetching, right? The whole data is there from the local. The data storage,
Yes, yes.
all data is there in the compute warehouse. So in this query, so you are selecting the column from the table, right? Now Snowflake
Yeah.
as the intelligent technique, already this table data is there. So it is directly getting it from that over local storage instead of moving into the remote storage.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay. Suppose if it is a
Yeah.
different table only, you didn't run any query before only, then at the time only it is moving to your remote storage.
Okay.
Okay. So suppose I run the different query. What happened? Okay. For your advantage, catalogs page, right? Okay. So otherwise, I customer table I run that. So this is the first time I ran that. Okay. The first time I'm running, it is taking some time now. It is running, still running.
Yeah, 3 point.
So right now only Snowflake is computing your query and it is talking with your original storage, original remote storage and get the data, right? It's still running.
Yes, 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 sir.
Yeah. So the each and every query the cost, bro. When you're running the query, right? That query, if you are going to get the data from remote storage, Snowflake will do some computing and that is also cost. Got it? Let's see. I think this is a big table. I think it's taking much time.
Yeah, it's been 1 minute, I think so.
I think still running.
Is there like Snowflake will charge for the query if it is more than 1 minute, or if it is less than 1 minute also it will charge?
No. They are also the calculation, right? Pricing sheet over there. Based on the run, how many data you are processing and how much data are you processing, what kind of query depends on that they're charging.
Oh, okay.
Already
okay,
we
sir.
talked about price, right? We talked about some pricing. The computing.
Yeah, we talked about yeah, that is like for 1 hour like that we have talked. I'm asking if a query will like if it is a small query, it will give the results within 1 minute, right? So that will be charged, or like that I'm asking. Like
Yeah, definitely,
it's a single.
definitely it is chargeable. It is a compute. It is consolidated the whole things and they are charging.
Yeah.
Suppose
Sure,
if you are
sure.
running the small query, right? How many minutes is running?
Yes.
It is taking the 2
Yeah.
minutes 7 seconds, right?
Yeah, sir.
For all bytes 4.5 GB data is there. Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened here? You are going there. What happened here? So it is getting from the remote disk ID, correct?
Yeah.
14% and initialization 28%. No local disk IO. Okay, no local disk. The first when you run the first time, the processing is 58%. Okay, you are getting it from there. So I am going to run the query again. What happened here? It's coming within second, right?
Yes.
So what is the beauty for this? Okay, let's check. Because what happened is a result cache, right?
Yeah.
So I am going to do that again. I am doing that limit 100 like that. Okay. I am changing the syntax. What happened? Because this is the not same query, right?
Yes, sir.
So what happened here? What happened here? Your IO is processing right now. This is the your local storage, warehouse cache. You are getting from the warehouse data and your limit 10 and it is coming the result.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have this is IO is involved, input output storage. Okay, there is no, it is not getting it from that remote, it is getting it from the warehouse cache. Got it?
Yeah, sir.
So you can see that now. 1 second. Percentage scanned from cache 100, byte scanned, partition total. This one, everything you can click that and you can see that, na? How much is that?
Yeah.
If you want the more details, you can see that more details. Okay, which is getting it from that which is getting it from that Vargos cache, right? So when we ran the query first time, how long it will be taking? When we ran
it has been taken 2 point something, 2 seconds.
So this is one of the big advantages, right? Here.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, you got it this point, right?
Yeah, I got the points. Yeah.
Okay. Then you can do that, right? These are the some points, some bullet point for that. So what is the lifetime for this? Okay. So this metadata, right? Metadata means it is up to date in the cloud services, right? Cloud service, it is up to date on this. The query result, right? The result set aspire. Once you are generating the query, right? You ran the query first time. When you run the query second time, it is getting it from the result set, right? That result set aspires after 24 hours. If you are not, if you are non-usage, it is getting it from the 24 hours. For example, I am telling you one example. So I run the some query, select start from query, some query. Okay. What happened? I ran the query at 10 o'clock. Okay, I ran the same query from I think 5 o'clock. Okay, 5 p.m. This is 10 a.m. This is 5 p.m. Okay, what happened here? 10 a.m. means when you're running the query, this is a lifetime, right? Lifetime will be the next 24 hours. Next 24 hours mean next 9:59 a.m. next day, right? So until or unless if you are running the query, the same query again. So what happened? 5 p.m. you are running. So your query lifetime will be extending. So right now it will be additional 24 hours. Got it? 4:59 p.m. So what I'm telling you, when you are running the query first time, right? At the 10 o'clock you are running the query, 10 a.m. Your lifetime obviously 9:59, next day 9:59 a.m. Until that you didn't process it, it is going to expire. Suppose after 5 hours or something, after 7 hours you are going sometime, any time, you are running the result cache again. What happened? It is extending the times 24 hours, next to 24 hours. So got it this point? Hello? Bro, are you?
Yes, sir. Yeah, so, I got the point, sir.
Until or unless use the result cache. If you are using the result cache in the mid of the any time, so it is calculating the same query from next 24 hours. So after the next 24 hours, you didn't use the same query only, that your result cache is going to expire. Otherwise, if you maybe after 5 hours or 10 hours mean, then it is calculating the again next 24 hours. It is the up to like that. Okay, so that is one of the advantages now. Okay.
Yeah, sir.
So, okay, and also I need to tell something. Okay. So this query, okay, this query you can practice. Okay. So I ran this query, this one. So this query, what happened here? This is the query. This is related to the query history detail. Okay, if you are going to click the query and check the details at all, it is very complicated, right?
Yeah, sir.
So, because if you are going to the query, what happened? What are the advantages here? You can check the few details also. Like you can expand that also. You can expand it, whatever. So a lot of significant features is available. No? You refresh that. What happened? You're checking the history, right? You're checking the history. You hold the things. Whatever query you are running, that's it. So last time you are running the query against which user you are running, and against which warehouse is running, and so which data size. What about your size of the warehouse? So what is the difference between this one or this one, right? So why this is empty? Why this is here? Because this is
like which is yeah.
So this
like
is,
we are getting from the result cache. That's
yeah, correct, absolutely. This is getting from the result cache or local like that, right? But this is not like that. It is getting from remote storage. That's why it is coming here. So you can see that session ID, which session ID, and what is the start time and end time, and the total duration, and how many bytes is scanned, and also your connected details, which is connected details, no? And how many rows is it getting it from that? The whole things you can get it from there. Okay, you can add the filter also, whatever filter. I need to just user only. Okay.
Yeah, I'll check this one.
Yeah. Okay. You can. Yeah. This also you can practice. Okay. Just a query ID.
Sure,
Which query ID you need to filter that? You can do that. All the things which is developed very well. Okay. Also, you can see that whole things in the Vue SQL also. Like that. Okay. Then I think this is good. I think. Let me go again. So what happened here? This is the same thing. Whatever we have seen in manual, right? This is same thing from the query. So I need to retrieve the last 100 query in running current session. So I run this query for this. Control enter, run that. If you don't want to ask me again, you can click that. Otherwise, you know me. Okay. Okay. What happened here? You can close that. What happened here? This is the last 100 queries. So this is mostly this is under the information schema. Okay, under the Snowflake database information schema, and this is the query history by session table. Okay, query history by session table. This is for the query history by Vargos. How many queries is running the Vargos level?
Yeah, okay. We can give the schema.
Yeah.
In the double quotes, or we can give it in the inside the.
Yeah, you can give it directly. You don't want to. You can pass it the string. Otherwise, you can bracket and you can give it like that. Anything is fine.
Yeah.
It's not a problem.
Yeah, sure. Oh, okay.
You can give information schema like that, and also you need to do the condition username. So I want to fetch the specific username now. Saravanan. Okay, I Saravanan 1 2 3 like that. I want to the page how many queries running. Okay, these are my query running that. So you can see that all the thing, query text, query database name, and the schema name, query type, which kind of query you are running, under the which session ID, username, role name, the warehouse name, and everything. So this is everything controlled under with the information schema. Okay, under that information schema, right? DemoDB, there is information schema. There are a lot of the tables here. So this is a default which is provided by that Snowflake. So under the information schema, you can see all the things. Okay, and the query history by users also, and query history detail. So I think this is for that last 1 hour query. How many query you are running the last 1 hour? So the data function, you are passing the hours -1, then current timestamp. Then from that current timestamp, what happened from the current timestamp? It is calculating the -1 hour. So -1 hour that last 1 hour you are running this query. Okay. So then this is for that last 7 days query. Past 7 days, how many query? End date time. There is a column, right? The same query.
Yeah.
There is end date something, no? The schema, the information schema query. Query history table is there. Query history table is a predominantly which is maintaining that all the query history, whatever query you are running, data warehouse and everything. So this is the time column, end time range start, end time range end. You are passing that local time zone, 2 timestamp local time zone. You are passing some specified time. Okay, my time is different. You can change it, you can change it accordingly. You can run that. Okay, last 7 days. Okay, you can change the value because the 2020 you need to change the corresponding value for the last 7 days. For example, now.
Yeah.
No, you can change it and open that. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then one more things for that here also. So you have that no. Yeah. So this is one, right? This is one for that same database is like that, right? Snowflake sample data and also this is schema, this is database. So what happened here? This is the table. okay, you don't want to interact with your computing data, remote storage. So instead of that also, I want to get the data from you are forcefully, I need to get it from that result cache. So in this case, what happened here, you need to pass that last query run ID, right? Last query run ID function, then result scan is there. You need to pass the result scan from the result cache. Then you need to pass the filter condition. If the query is the same only, then it is getting it from the result cache, right? But otherwise, I don't want to. If the query is different, but I need to get the result from result cache. So in this case also, you can forcefully, explicitly, you need to define the result scan. So whatever data is available from your result cache, so based on the condition, it is getting it from there. Get it my point? What I'm telling you?
Yeah, I got the point, Sarvan, but there is no need of that, right? Because anyway, the total table will be in warehouse cache, but no need to forcefully give that condition, right? It will take there will be a computing process.
This is not recorded just for the you are knowing details only. I'm telling you, but it's not recorded. Generally, whatever we following the previous step, right? That is right only for the real time. So this is one why I'm telling you now. Suppose if you want to get the data from result cache, you need to pass a result scan, and result scan you need to pass your log based on your query ID. You need to fetch the condition. You can get it from that. If the query is modified or not, it's not a problem. So just you know that, but it's not using in real time. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Otherwise, like this is the navigation panel. You can that, right? Suppose I need to do that, right? What happened? I need to place the table mean. What happened? You need to do that. The place name in SQL. It is automatically coming, right? So just I want to select this table. Place name SQL mean it is automatically coming. You don't want to do anything manually. You need to type that. So automatically is coming. Okay. Then also otherwise you need to double click, that is also coming automatically. Double click or anything you can do that, it is automatically coming here.
Yeah, sir. Okay.
And otherwise you can preview the data here, preview the data from here, checking the previewing the data. And you know that when we click the table also, you can see that how many rows is available, how much size is there, and which cluster is pointing it out. So all the details there, right? This one.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
This is very user friendly. Okay, because and otherwise also you can the view details also. You can view the view details, the preview details. Preview details nothing. It is a column. Okay, you can select the column details. If you want to select the column, whatever column, just I want to select the what is the main advantages from this Snowflake mean? There is a row column is there additionally. For each and every table, Snowflake is determined the row column, dynamic column. 1, 2, 3. Based on that, you need to grade the some unique stuff, right?
Yeah.
For each and every table, no. I'm checking the view detail. The row column is coming, right? For each and every table is there. Every table. Suppose if I am running this table also, the row is coming, right? This is the automated column in Snowflake. You don't want to define anything, automatically is coming.
Okay.
This is the main advantage here. Suppose I want to filter that column means you need to filter that. So I want to only for the this one catalog page means only the catalog page is coming, right? Other column is not coming.
Yes.
Want to the department, I want to, you can select that accordingly. Okay. Okay, so these are the one advantages there, and also query ID and SQL. You can check that SQL, and also for that, if you are selecting this customer, right? You can see the below only. You can see the whole things. How many rows is available? How much size is there? And what are the column detail? If you are click the data, the column detail also you can get the type also. So it is a well organized tool. You can look it out and easy to analyze, and you can write the code very very smoothly, right? Without any difficulty.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the all. And then preview data. Okay. And one more point is that suppose you are the user, right? Snowflake. My user is Sarvan user. Okay. But
Yeah.
maybe your user is different. Maybe Naveen user mean, what can I do? I can run your query, but I cannot see your result. Get my
Okay.
point?
Okay.
But
Yeah, I got.
I can reuse your query. Suppose if we are both we are working in the same organization,
Yeah.
I can view your query, but I cannot see your result.
Okay.
The
Okay,
result
sir.
is okay, but you are also you can reuse my query, but you are not getting from my result without my permission.
Okay. Okay,
Okay,
sir.
this is one of the significant feature in the Snowflake. Then also
Okay.
you can see the history, the history. So we look at the history detail, right? The whole things, no? So
Yeah.
there is some auto refresh is there. If you are enabling manner, it is automatically each and every 10 seconds only. Snowflake automatically refresh that. Otherwise, you can manually refresh that. Whatever.
Okay.
If you
Yeah.
enable that, each 10 seconds, Snowflake is automatically refreshing every time when you are allowing when you are running the portal. No? Okay.
Yeah.
Then this one, I think. So this is not useful, but just you know that if you want to forcefully get the data from result cache, you can pass that result scan function and you can pass your query ID and you can filter the condition. Got it, right?
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
never but we never use this kind of functionality mostly.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, sir.
for example, no, if I am using the information schema, okay, what happened here? I need to select the table. I need to select the database mean and select the database. Okay, this is the information schema. Snowflake. Okay. Snowflake. Go to the Snowflake. Then account usage. Okay, select the table. Copy history. Okay, Snowflake database, account usage schema, copy history, right? You can run that. It is running, it is getting it from the remote storage, right? But there is no row here. Okay, there is no row here. So what happened? You are finding the different places. Okay, computer ergo Snowflake sample database. Okay, but what happened here? This is a different database. So you need to specify the full detail only. It is getting, you can run that. So otherwise, I can run from here. You are not able to run that, right? So you need to specify because you're finding out to the different schema and different database. Suppose if I want to run the table directly from that corresponding database and corresponding schema, no, I am selecting the customer address table now. Become the customer address table. So you can run that. The data which is coming. Okay, this one show the data preview is there. Data preview, you can select the columns, what are the types, and the detail section is there also. In the detail section, there are also that what is the data type and the kind of was nullable or not nullable. Those stuff is there. Okay, now data is coming, right? Okay. Bro, do you have any question for this?